There's the common objection of rape. Rape, when anybody brings up rape, it's a heartstring argument. Something that I like to ask people is, what's wrong with rape in your worldview? And usually they'll say something like, well, it's taking liberties with somebody else's body that you shouldn't take. And I like to say, well, thank you for that pro-life argument, because that's exactly what happens to the baby in the womb. Stealing that from Jeff Durbin. I also like to ask them, which is worse, murder or rape? Which one's worse? Because there's a baby being murdered. Which one of those is worse? And what I like to tell them is, I don't think that we should kill the child for the sins of the father. That's not how we deal with justice. We shouldn't kill the baby because of what the father did, if that's the case. Also, what about disabled or poor people? What if they're going to be disabled or poor? This is a foolish argument. No, I don't think we should kill disabled or poor kids. Fetus argument. Fetus is a Latin word meaning offspring, and for humans, that means baby or child. You'll hear Jeff Durbin say this a lot. Why are you speaking Latin? Let's just call it what it is in English. It's a baby. Fetus is also a state of development like adolescent, teenager, adult. All they're doing is using language to dehumanize another human being. Same thing the Nazis did in Germany when they said it's not a person, it's a Jew. I should be able to kill it. Same argument. This is something that's important for us to understand. And we need to call abortion what it really is. It's murder. And the reason that we need to call it that is because whoever controls the language will control the fight. They'll say it's a fetus. It's not a baby. They'll say it's a pregnancy. It's not a child. They'll say it's not murder. It's just terminating a pregnancy. That is not what God's word says. It's murder. We need to call it that. If we don't call it that, they're winning the language battle and we're just falling in line with what they've determined it is. God's word is truth. He sets the standard. We need to stick to his word and what his word says about it. The sled argument, this is huge. The only difference between the child outside of the womb and the child in the womb can be broken down to these four things. And this is called the sled argument. It's size, level of development, environment, and degree of dependency. Let's start with size. We don't kill people based on their size. If this was true, I would still be able to kill my 3-month-old, my 2-year-old, my 5 and 4-year-old. Level of development, they're still developing. So are my children. The environment that they're in, we don't kill people based on the environment they're in. They're inside the mother, where God has determined that child should be. And degree of dependency, you'll hear this argument, well, the baby depends on me for life. I should be able to kill it. We don't kill people because they depend on us for life, right? That doesn't give us the right to murder them. Yes, that baby does depend on you for life, Mom. That's how God intended it. He thought that would be the safe place for the baby to grow and develop, right? Inside its mother. But instead, what have we done? We've turned it into a death camp. The baby can't run away. It can't defend itself. And usually, the baby's discarded and thrown in the trash. Maybe their parts are sold for a profit. This is what's going on. The clump of cells argument, this is an old, outdated argument. Anyone can go and see that science has evidence now, from scientific evidence now confirms that life begins at conception. The Bible has always stated it. So why hasn't Roe v. Wade been overturned? Well, this is an opinion of the court written by Supreme Court Justice Blackmun. He said, we need to not resolve the difficult question of when life begins. When those trained in the respective disciplines of medicine, philosophy, and theology are unable to arrive at any census, the judiciary at this point in development of man's knowledge is not in a position to speculate as to the answer. Well, we have the answer now. We have the answer now. We always have had the answer, but now science has just confirmed what God's word has said. If what we're doing out there isn't loving, then I don't know what is.
60 million murdered in our country, that's a scary count. Wombs become a death camp, trash can a burial. American Holocaust, more than all the soldiers lost in every single war. It's an era marked in gold. The innocent defense